Alright, welcome back to week 6 of the Spring Split by XP League. I'm your host Cody, or Code Red, and now we have switched over to our Silver League. And we'll be covering 2 matches of these talented players, and then we'll be switching over to our Plat League and covering 2 more matches. So we have 4 more matches for you guys today. We'll see exactly what these silver players have in store for us. Looks like Reckless Railway is a popular location today. A few teams here maybe looking to battle it out. They're farming up and getting their loot up right now, but they could run into each other here in a second. Looks like Lilypad might be working their way in. Actually, as I say that, Big Bang is taken down. And that Silky skill to do it. So now Gamer Point in Lilypad put in a difficult situation. 2 players versus 3. Never fun taking a fight against a trio when you're only a duo yourself. That player disadvantage can be so detrimental for your team. You can hear those shots coming through, and Rebear looking around for these players and then spot them out. On top of these builds, shots coming through. Rebear has to be careful here, and Rebear takes out one, now looking for the second. Lilypad will be taken out as well. Susie Dragon will go down, but they'll get that res onto him. And a few eliminations to start off this match for Susie, Silky, and Princess. They've done good to find a few off the start here, and they'll capitalize on that loot. And they'll claim that location as their own, but we'll switch over here to some random players. Maple Syrup and Chill Debuse. As they rotate in here to Grim Gate and loot up this location, they'll try their best to find some loot here and put themselves in a better position for this end game. We'll try and find some more fights going on here. Looks like Dino Nuggies is a part of one. Switch over here, maybe find some remaining fights, or maybe I misread that. Maybe it wasn't Dino Nuggies. Either way, we'll take a look at Dino Nuggies, Rah-Rah, and XP Frown, as they work their way into Fencing Fields. The team nearby this location. Some mythic weapons, that water bending, as well as that lightning bolt to use here. All these different mythic weapons being introduced in the game makes it that much harder to adapt to the meta, especially for these players. Since this isn't comp, the meta's a lot more, or has a lot more variability to it. It seems like these players have to be that much more on their toes to do well in these matches. Again, they'll just be farming up here. Dino Nuggies only playing with that shotgun, maybe using that lightning bolt for some long-range action, but overall has to be careful of taking those types of engagements, especially with snipers in the meta. If you stand still with that lightning bolt for too long, you can be put in a difficult situation, taken out pretty easily. See Raid finding some eliminations in the chat. We'll see if we can find Raid here. String our way over, but it looks like he's cleaned up the fight, and Debuse goes down. As a result, Raid, Tron, and Yuhi are able to take over this Grim Gate location. You'll see them popping some shields, healing up from that battle. But overall, decent use, and they have some wings to play with as well, and these wings have been so pivotal in these matches thus far. You see these teams utilizing them the entire time, and they're really, really good for these rotates, especially these long rotates where you're coming in from zone. They act as a launch pad that just can take you on and on forever and ever. See, Raid is able to link up with his teammate Tron again. See Stuka also finding some eliminations in the chat. See if we can cover some of these fights. Shred Cheese taken out, and seems like we're just getting to these fights as they end. And Suka, Tibby Fibby, and V-Dub gonna be the ones to find those eliminations. Or at least that elimination. Only one player to find there. Maybe looking for the rest of the team or the remaining players for that squad as they make their way up this mountain. We'll just keep panning our way around here. Puzzled Hakasaurus Rex, one of the teams around this location, flying around trying to find a little bit more loot. Puzzled low on HP, or low, at least low on shield. So definitely will be on the lookout for something like that. You see these golden bananas in use, maybe giving you a little bit more of that white HP. Puzzled's got to be careful here. Spots out that player down below. Doesn't want to be caught out here. Decides to rotate off here. Use those wings to do so. Here's those shots up to his left, and maybe just looking to regroup with his teammate. Banana being tossed out of the inventory. You can see the wings being popped yet again, and just trying to rotate off of this location. See damage coming through. Puzzled's got to be careful. Has to dive back down into the river. It's a good job of navigating that, finding that bridge to do so. These wings can be slow though. Make it difficult for you to rotate, difficult for you to get away from these fights quickly. And often a lot of these players are eliminated by getting taken out of the air. Take a look at some more teams here around zone. Cole Baz Hockey, Shotty Bugatti, and Zebu Beck here on the outskirts of zone, or at least, I know they're pretty central in zone overall, but maybe running into a fight here, at least with some AI. See those water bending tools coming out for Cole. They've got the AI of their own to play with. So they've recruited yet another player to their team, making it a little bit better for them in these fights. At least one player to distract a bit more. And they'll look around here. Nothing really to be found. Not a lot of fights going down. Only 37 players left remaining in this, so a little bit smaller than our previous gold lobbies, but it just means that the end games will be where most of the fights go down. Right now, a lot of these teams just trying to get their loot up and make sure that they have everything they need before we get too closed in here, before they get kind of shoved in together and they're forced to take these fights. You can see this vault finally going down, and Almighty Harp is going to be the one to go inside along with Connor Pirate. They want to take advantage of all of this loot around this area. That alarm can be very loud and call your position out to some of these teams. And often some of these players are caught down below, but you'll see Harp taking advantage of some of these weapons. A gold drum gun. 3 purple weapons as well. Not a lot of shotgun ammo though. Has to be careful here about that. You don't want to run into a fight where you don't have a shotgun. Shotgun being the main weapon in Fortnite. A lot of these fights are started using them, or at least ended using them. See Shotty Bugatti actually finding some eliminations there in the chat yet again. We'll keep looking our way around here. V-Dub, Suka, and Tibby Fibby. Looks like they have started to make their way in towards zone here, but they might run into a team nearby. They've spotted one out, and it looks like they've trying to take some shots with these snipers. Not going to land that first one, just a little bit behind. These snipers, you have to lead your shot a bit more than that. Don't look for this damage, but V-Dub actually, his head is almost taken off there. They'll have to be careful here. They'll have to start to rotate back a little bit. V-Dub, not any real rotations on the inventory of him. Suka, Tibby Fibby, doesn't look like they have any either. So they're going to be rotating around on foot for the most part this game. No wings to play with, no car at the moment. No shockwaves to work with either, so doesn't look like they're in the best of situations here. You really want to have some sort of movement on the inventory of at least one of your players, especially if those shockwaves come in handy. You can group rotate with them towards the end game. Seems like for now, they're going to be able to rotate out unfazed, but they might be rotating into yet another team in this reckless railways position. I don't think they're aware of it yet. Just looking around, they're starting to build their way up though, so they'll make their presence known. Yeah, now looking around this location, trying to do some damage. That's Connor Pirate below. They're going to be dropping into this team, maybe looking for this fight actually. And Suka there to lead it. Finds these players behind him, tries to drop into them, and tries to work his way around the stairs, finding a different angle. Finds those edits, looks for the shots. He's going to be able to find them. Damage found. 2 HP remains, though. Just narrowly finds that elimination. You can see the shields being popped. Ooh, has those 2 big pots to get all the way back up. Minis to heal after that, but Tibby Fibby's taken down, and now V-Dub and Suka is left all on them. Looks like Suka trying to take the fight here, looking for those shots, not able to hit them initially. Enemy player looking to take this fight. Suka looking around, trying to find something here. Drops in on Suka. Suka's taken down. That elimination found. And now Harp has to be careful here. These 2 players still remain above. Harp has those shields to work with, looking for those shots now. That gold drum gun just to do it there. We'll find that elimination onto V-Dub. Now leaving it all onto Tibby Fibby in a 1v1 situation. Was taken down earlier in this fight, and now Harp is looking to do it. Harp is looking to find these last few shots. Just trying to finish him off any way he can. That last little bit of health, trying to take it, but Tibby Fibby's running circles around him at this point. Looks like Harp has run out of ammo and almost all the weapons here. But eventually, Tibby Fibby will fall and Harp will find a weapon to eliminate him with. And Harp, so many eliminations now, but Zone coming in. Has to be careful of it here, and Harp might get eliminated by Storm here as it begins to rotate in. So an edge zone fight leading to the demise of Harp in 5, 4, 3, 2 HP, just trying to hop his way out, but not going to be able to do so, and Harp goes down. That is precisely why a lot of these teams don't like to fight on edge zone, or to choose to kind of give up that fight earlier on. And it leads to both of those teams being eliminated. Instead, a similar situation happened in Apex earlier today. In both of these Battle Royale games, you can't take those storm fights. You can't take those edge zone fights because the storm will come. And if you're left on low HP, you will be eliminated. So, unfortunately, both of those teams going down. Even after Harp is able to put on a show for us. Now, Ham the Bomb looking around here. Spotting out some different parts of the map they want to go to. Maybe putting down some marks exactly. The locations that they like. For now, just trying to find their way towards zone. We'll take a look at Gravitas and Ghost as they begin to make their way into zone as well here. Caught on the edge, but no real team surrounding the area, so they should be fine for now. They don't really have any pressure towards them. Switching again over here, we have Yuji, Raid, and Tron. We're also sitting on kind of the edge of zone here. They were inside at this time, and they have that launch pad to work with, so they'll be able to rotate out however they like. You can see some mythics on the inventories of these players, and some mythics being surrounded on the ground, so obviously some good loot for this team, and 7 eliminations is no small feat. And Tron will lead the rotate out here as they reposition on top of one of these hills, so it seems like they're actually deciding to go a little bit more towards the outskirts of zone, so we'll be taking a fight here. Interesting play. They had the inside of zone. They were inside zone at that point, but really deciding to rotate around the edge here. Maybe find a different approach. Let's see Jippy on the ground down below here. Tron wants this fight, looking for that elimination. Jippy can feel the pressure, can feel how close Tron is getting to his location. Some good edits from Tron. Another nice set of piece control from Tron there. Takes that floor, takes that cone, is able to get that double edit, and it leaves Jippy so vulnerable. What a play from Tron to find those eliminations. A serious set of them for him now. Raid also flying around this team, looking, just like scouring the zone at this point, trying to find some players around these locations, and you'll see them just gliding around here. If we look back around zone here, we can see some of these players in some fights, and it looks like Schnozzle is going to be taken out. Dark Staler working his way in here, has that river to work with as well, just trying to evade some of these shots and boost his way into zone here, but might get pressured. This team might be following his location, but for now he's going to be able to survive Dark Shadow nearby and grouping up with his teammate. This is exactly what you want to do in these situations. If you're put under this pressure, you want to find your teammates and regroup. Create a box, create a little safe haven for yourself, and kind of rethink the game plan and figure out what your next move is. But as I say that, Dark Shadow going to be pressured here along with Dark Staler. Now these players above them, Dark, take it down very low. Now eliminated, all left on to Dark Shadow. Dark Shadow sees these players. They're trying to get into his box, uses the shockwave once to get out, and can use this river to kind of put some space in between himself and his enemies. It might just be a matter of time for Dark Shadow as he boxes up here, tries to regroup and get a little bit more of a sense of what to do next, but all alone now. Now, yeah, is going to be pressured. Dark Shadow uses that shockwave to get out. Jumps into the water. Is able to make it a little bit further away, but so low on HP. No shields, no heals any longer, and he's going to run into yet another player, it seems like, right in front of him, trying to kind of evade here, and maybe somebody else to put the pressure onto. And again, boxing up in a different location, but he's going to be pressured. This team is hungry, and they want this elimination. Dark Shadow, again, going to be tested here. Ooh, he might have evaded them there. He gets around the side. He finds a little bit of a hole to sit in. And I don't think they realize where he is. They're looking around here. They don't see him. And what a spot to find. What a play to be able to hide under these rocks. Yuji, no idea where he is. Nobody sees him. And he's able to survive for now. And he'll stay alive for a little bit longer. So what a spot for Dark Shadow. I'm so impressed by that ability to be able to find a spot that quickly to hide in. Now Raid, they turn their attention to other players, looking to find this damage as teams rotate in here. Looks like Yuji found it onto one. Tron finding it onto another. Tron with 10 eliminations this match. Seems like every time we come Alright, hello and welcome back to our second match of our Silver League here in Week 6 of our Spring Split. My name is Cody, or Code Red, and I will be your host for the matches today. And we will be checking out our Silver talent and how they do throughout these matches. We had an eventful first one, and now we're going to be closing our Silver matches out here. Hopefully with a bang, hopefully with another exciting match where these players are just battling it out amongst each other, fighting for these victories. And it looks like Susie, Dragon, Silky Scale, and Princess are going to be starting their game off here at Reckless Railways. Already a few eliminations going down in the chat. We started with about 61 players, so keep that in mind as we play out throughout the match. We have about 58 remaining at this point. So only a few players being eliminated here at the start. Obviously, reboot's still a factor. These teams can be, or players can be brought back in this match. But after such an eventful match in our previous one, Tron dropping 12 eliminations with his team and being able to have so much impact in that match. We'll see if we can repeat that. A lot of times what happens in these matches, these players can get a little bit over-aggressive, a little bit overconfident in these fights, and eventually it leads to their demise and they don't end up surviving as a result. So we'll see if Tron's confidence gets the better of him this match, or if he's able to keep it under wraps and can still consistently win out these fights. Switching our way over here to Zebu, Beck, and Shoddy Bugatti, who are looting up Snooty Steeps. Shockwaves to be found by Zebu. He's going to be able to use those in endgame, or at least to get away from some teams of duo, so they're going to have to maybe use a little bit more rotations than the average team would. That shouldn't be an issue for them to survive in this match. We saw duos do so well in our Apex Legends earlier stream, and we'll see if these duos can come out on top in this one as well. Taking a look back over at the map here, we'll kind of switch to some random teams. We still have that visual glitch where we don't actually get to see everybody on the map, so hopefully that's fixed by next week. But we will pan our way around here and try to go to a couple different teams that we haven't seen. One like Obsidian, Dally the Penguin, and Lil Hillbilly, as they loot up this location right outside of the Classy Coliseum. I think it's Classy Courts. Could be wrong. Yeah, Classy Courts location. You can hear that train going nearby, so maybe looking to get on top of that, get some extra loot around this area. Choosing more of a passive approach. Oh, the train actually dragging a car along. That's pretty funny. But a lot of times, some of these teams have more of a passive approach, landing on the outskirts of zone here. Not really trying to take any fights here at the beginning of the match, but eventually they'll look to do so later on once they have the loot to do so. And especially if you're not confident in your early game fights, you're not confident playing with such small amounts of loot, or I guess lesser weapons, it's always a good idea. But they actually just evade yet another team that was going into that location. Ooh, they gotta be careful. Something just flying over the top there. I'm not exactly sure what that was, but they do have to be careful of teams around this location, and the train's definitely going to draw some attention. Obsidian just looks like he's firing some random shots off there, trying to see if he can get a tag or two on the players passing by, but for now, nothing is found out of it. Switching over to Shoddy Bugatti and Zebu, who just picked up a few eliminations here on the edge of zone and looking to continue to get some here. Black Shirts taken down as well. And what eliminations to find. A duo able to eliminate one of the trios in this match. That's great for them. Gives them a little bit of an advantage coming into this end game. They don't have to search for those eliminations as hard. They can play a little bit more passive here. They've already got those elimination points. And duos just continue to surprise me today. As we switch our way over here to Lilypad. Big Bang and Gamer Points. more towards the outskirts of zone here as well. Looting up one of these locations near this lake. Just getting some more loot of some purple weapons or items on the inventory of lily pads. Some decent items to start here, and actually gonna look to take out this AI, maybe get some more weapons out of it. Has to be careful there. You don't want to take too much damage from the AI. Lily pad doesn't even pop the shields yet, so has to be careful of this, and more damage even be taken, and actually taken out by another player. Shred Cheese makes their way into the location and finds those eliminations. And it looks like they clean up on all of this squad, maybe except for one of these players. But Lily Pad, they just get a little bit caught off guard there. They needed to pop those shields prior to that fight, and as a result, they will go down. So Puzzled, Shred Cheese, and Hawkosaurus Rex are able to find those eliminations at the start of this match and give their team a little bit of an advantage. Continue on here. We'll look around the map, see what we can find, what teams we can see. We see Ski and Forbens along with Crips looting up this Lavish Lair, and a lot of these top teams have been landing around this location. Lavish Lair has been a pretty popular location, at least in our Platinum League. We'll see if Crips and his squad can perform out of this location just as well as those teams have been. The plethora of loot that surrounds it. Looks like they have a decent amount in their inventories at the moment. Ski, that purple drum gun, blue SMG, and blue AR. Not choosing to run a shotgun in this meta. Maybe playing on that controller rather than that keyboard and mouse. A lot of times we see that from those controller players. And a shotgun and a gold AR for Forbens. So you see why this location is coveted so much in these matches. Is such good loot to be found here. So much ammo, shields, weapons to be found, and they can just loot up this entire area all to themselves. We take a look back here at our map. We can look around here at Raid, who's having another solid match here. 3 eliminations for himself. So players caught out in zone, so we'll see if this team capitalizes on that. Tron. No eliminations for him this match, but he had 12 in the previous. Looks like Raid has been finding those eliminations this one. Now beginning to rotate out of this location. See, that mythic shotgun just plays such a big factor, and I don't know where this team's going, but they consistently have such good loot. Pan our way over to maybe some of the other players in the squad, but see, yeah, purple weapons, blue weapons, not bad. And a mythic SMG, they have 2 mythics already for these players, so obviously landing a decent location and have some sort of plan for a rotation out of it. They've done so well to find these eliminations. I'm sure those wings play a large factor of knowing where to rotate to and what fights to take. You can use it kind of to scope out the area, and this is not a team that cowers away from a fight. This is a team that likes to take those aggressive approaches on these teams and find those eliminations. So we'll see what UG, Raid, and Tron have in store for us this match, as they've already found a few eliminations. But we pan our way over here to E-Money, who takes out Jensen. E-Money and Pizza Master, a duo in this match as well, rocking that Korra skin. Popping some more shields, getting their health back up before they're facing yet another fight. We see actually a few more teams around this location maybe taking this fight, and that's actually Tron, Raid, and usually we pan away from them, and as we pan away from them, they get taken down. Tron eliminated, Raid eliminated. Now Yuji, the only player left remaining for this squad. This is just such a difficult situation for this team. Gonna be able to get one of these players back up. You can see those minis being popped. Yuji's got to be careful here. Only real player with health left on this squad, and Yuji's really going to be tested in this situation. Raid low on HP. And Raid actually looking to take a build fight on these players. Yuji maybe Gonna support from down below, but Ray taken out yet again, and now Yuji, the only player left remaining, just hiding in some of these builds. Trying to get away maybe with these wings, but such a difficult situation for Yuji. Trying to get a res off, but not going to be able to do so. Finding some shots on the shield, and our match winners from our previous match are looking in so much trouble. Looking to find this elimination, but he's not going to be able to do so. And Jippy comes out on top. Jippy, it was a 1v1. And he comes out on top, finds those eliminations, and gives his team the win. That's such a huge squad to find those eliminations on. Jippy's going to be able to go back, res his teammate, a reboot in nearby. Can easily pop that reboot and get his teammates back in this match. As I say that, though, I think the reboot was actually just popped by another team, or at least one nearby was. You see Jippy now in some trouble himself. No more shockwaves to use. Can use that effect to get away a little bit more. But Jippy in such a difficult situation here. A solo, has such good loot. It's so very difficult for him to get away from these fights. Let's pan our way around here. We'll find some more fights going on. Not Crossbow, Fish, Blinkmaster, and Magpul. Working their way around this zone as well. Maybe looking for that Volt. Doesn't look like that one's open, but these players not too shabby on loot as well. Trying to get their mats up. Trying to hit that cap of 150. It's so hard to find metal on this map. We talked about it previously in our gold lobbies, but just as well for these silver players. They're just going to have to scavenge around the map and try and find what little metal they can get. A lot of these natural resources like these trees, these rocks are so easy to farm on your way into zone, but metal you have to stop and actually find a location with some of this material that you can re-farm, making it so difficult for them to get an advantage in this match, especially if you're not landing at a location that has it. As I say that, they work their way into Rebel's Roost. They're going to farm up some of those metal fences there as well. Twitsy and Cryptic here on the edge of this lavish layer position. Maybe just trying to figure out exactly where they want to go from here. Zone. Pretty central on lavish layer, so they don't have to go too far. So maybe just looking to set up camp as well here. As we panned away from Magpul, it looks like he got an elimination. But Crossbow taking down very low. Shield cracked, 150 damage done to him. Popping that medkit, trying to stay in this fight. But Magpul looking to get a little bit more aggressive here. Finds it on to Frown. Frown is eliminated. Rah-Rah and Dino Nuggies are as well. And it looks like this squad will clean up and find another few eliminations. Actually, their first eliminations of the match. And a decent time to find them. Especially when you're in zone. Not necessarily on the edge here. And we'll see exactly where it pulls. Not too far away. So it's not too bad of a location for them to be able to get their mats up. You see Max coming in for Magpul now, and that's just the advantage of getting these refreshes, taking these fights. You get that little bit more of metal in your inventory. It makes it that much easier to stay in these matches for longer. Panning our way back over to some other teams. We have XPL Gravitas. He's solo in this match. His teammates nowhere to be found and just camping his way out. Not a lot of loot, not a lot of mats, not a lot of ammo. Gravitas, at least using these bushes to stay alive in this match. Just playing for those placement points. 19 players left, 8 squads, and he's one of them. Trying to stay alive in here is the key for him. And clutch up some more placement points for his squad. We pan our way over to Jippy, who's able to res one of his teammates. WV Hill is back in the match. We'll see what kind of loot they're rocking. Not the greatest at the moment, so obviously just rezzed recently. Probably from that reboot van that they're passing by there. Just gonna need to farm up some of this area around. You can see some ammo being split over here. A medallion being thrown down. Kind of splitting the loot between themselves, so if one player goes down, at least the other can survive for a little bit longer and keep them in this match even further. Another duo in this match is Pizza Master and E-Money, who are camping out here in a bush as well. A lot of what these teams want to do right now is just survive. They want to make these teams fight each other and don't really want to work into these zones until they have to. Can we look our way over here? We have Deadshot Cora, Rocky, are in both the Rocky players. One of them's taken down, though. I don't know if they got sniped or exactly what happened. I think they spotted out Gravitas, who was playing as a solo in this bush, and Gravitas was able to find the elimination onto one now. Cora forced to res here, and it looks like Rocky wants to get a little bit aggressive here. Not spotting out that player initially. They can hear the footsteps running around him, but Gravitas actually makes his way off the mountain and away from this fight. So for now, the Rocky players, along with Cora, will survive. Gotta be careful of getting caught off guard, and it looks like another team's rotating into their location. Yeah, players landing nearby and looking for this fight. And Rocky's trying to do his best to stay in this. Trying to create some cover for himself, some good builds coming out, but it's not going to be enough, and taken down. And that's Crips to find that elimination. Now Ski looking to make his way around the builds. They spotted out where the players are underneath these builds, and now they're going to just be breaking through these walls, trying to take this piece control. Spraying through, looking for the shots. One goes down. One runs by, though. But before he's able to escape, they find him out. And that's 4 men to find those last few eliminations on the squad. It looks like Ski, Crips, and 4 men are looking to put their own stamp on this match with 6 eliminations for them. With only 7 squads left. They're looking to take this match for themselves and win it out here. But you can't count out Jippy. You can't count out Hill, who have done well to stay in this match. Jippy obviously clutching up for his team earlier. We'll see if he can continue to have those heroics later in this match. He can lead his team to victory because he does have that better loot. He does have those mythical weapons. It looks great for this team as well. Magpul, Linkmaster, and not Crossbow on the edge of zone here. You're going to have to rotate out of this location, but doesn't seem like they have a lot of teams around them to worry about at the moment, at least. It's always a good thing. It's always nice to be able to rotate to zone a little bit uncontested. You get a little bit of a free rotate, as we say. Not having to build too much, not having to waste too much ammo. This team has 28 seconds to rotate. They need to start making their way to zone. Not too many players around here. There's nothing really for them to find. You can see them trying to refarm. They built up a lot after the zone actually had closed. They need to rotate out of this position. They can't stay here any longer. Or it could be the end of their match if they're not careful. So you can see them start to make their way into zone here, but kind of going the opposite direction. Not really beelining it, but rather taking a more around approach. And sometimes teams do this to get a little bit of a better rotate to zone, a little bit more free. You don't want to rotate down the center, because you might run into some teams. So using this outskirts of zone and trying to find the dead side here is sometimes a strategy for these squads. They might actually catch some teams out here. Yeah, running up behind a few here. Pizza Master taken. A shot taken down. Pizza Master is dropped, and what a shot that was from Magpul. You can see that shockwave coming in, and he wants to finish out this fight, but a lot more teams in this location, so they have to be careful about over-aggressing for these eliminations. You can see that sniper being pulled out. Doesn't connect. This is where you have to stay back. You can't push in too hard. You're going to get third-party by these other teams, and that's exactly what's happening to Magpul right now. He's trying to survive now, trying to regroup with his team instead. You can see his team now filtering in, so at least for now he's safe. At least for now he can regroup with them and find a little bit better of a position for himself. But you see how quickly those tables can turn if you over-aggress, if you get a little bit too involved in these fights. They say tunnel vision on these fights. Usually these players, they see that elimination, they want it so badly, and they get a little greedy for it, and sometimes it ends in their demise. So Magpul forced to pull back a little bit there.